Hello everyone. Today we're going to install a double bender on this B5 Bigsby. So this is one of our B5, B7 B-bender kits, and you would buy this if you already have a Bigsby and you want to install the bender levers onto your Bigsby. It comes with a shim that mounts under the Bigsby, the bender levers, and all of the parts needed to assemble it. So, and the tools. So we're going to remove those parts from the bag, set that aside. We're going to need the mid-size Allen wrench first, which is a 5/64" Allen wrench, because we're going to loosen that set screw that holds the axle in place for that roller. So I just loosened that, and we're going to use the same Allen wrench just to push that axle through, and we're going to lay that to the side. Going to lay the roller to the side, and we're going to replace that axle with this precision ground piece of rod. We want to use this axle because it will improve your tuning stability over this one. So you can see I started to install that axle. We're going to grab one of the 3/8" bearings, and then we're going to first of all install the 3/8" long roller. Then we're going to install the B lever, and I like to put the longest paddle on the B lever, and then we put a shorter size on the G lever. I want to mention something. If you're going to change the paddle to one of these alternate length paddles that you get in the kit, first of all, use this smallest Allen wrench to loosen that set screw. Just pop that loose before you loosen this socket head screw that holds the paddle and the lock washer on. So you'll remove that, install the alternate length paddle, tighten this back again with this larger Allen wrench. Tighten it to the amount of stiction or friction that you want the paddle to have, and then once you have that set like you want it, then tighten that set screw down again so that it holds that socket head screw in place. Okay, so we're going to install the B-bender lever. Then we're going to install a washer, and we want that washer in between the B lever and the G lever, because if you don't install that, you might actually have these thumb screws contacting each other, and for the best tuning stability, you don't want that to happen. So be sure to install that washer in between. And then we're going to grab the 1" roller. Let's go ahead and install both of the 3/8" bearings. Put the axle through there. Now we have this small gap you can see before I go ahead and do the rest of the installation, we can take that washer and take up that space on the end. It's a little bit tricky to get that in, but I have it in. Even the axle up in between here, and go back to the underside and tighten the set screw down that holds the axle in place. So that's what it looks like. A couple of other things related to why there are extra washers included in some of the B5, B7, B-bender kits. These Bigsby's were originally sand cast. They may be die cast now, I don't know. But because I don't know if you're installing the bender levers on a Bigsby from maybe the 60s or some other era, or if it's a brand new one, the distance between here and here over the years, and even sometimes currently, that's not a precise distance. That distance may be a little wider, or it may not be. So the number of washers that we use is relative to that distance. In this case, I chose to put the washer at the beginning. That particular washer could go beside this bender lever, it could go on this end. It's not critical exactly where it goes. The one washer that is important to get correct is the washer in between the B and the G levers. Anytime you have two of these bender levers together, you want to put a washer in between them, because if you don't, you may have some interference between these two thumb screws. They might rub together, but because we place that spacer there, we're not going to have that interference. So in this case, we have washer, roller that moves freely, bender lever, washer, bender lever, another roller that moves freely, bender lever, roller, and there are bearings in each of those. And then we have this small space on the end on this particular one that you can see if we tried to install a washer there, it might actually fit if we force it, but then that roller is not going to move, and we want those rollers to move freely. It's also important that the ball end of the string in the string bender line up with where you would be installing the string in the roller bar if you didn't have the string bender installed. This spacing is very even for a reason, so just visually inspect to make sure that space, that hole where you're going to install the ball end of the string, lines up with where you would mount the string on each of these. In each package, whether you buy the completed Steelmaster or the B5 bender with the Bigsby or one of the kits, we provide you with alternate length paddles. Before you go to replace this paddle with an alternate length paddle, you need to loosen this set screw before you loosen or tighten the set screw that holds the paddle onto the lever. So we're going to go ahead and go through the process. I'm going to loosen that set screw that holds the socket screw in place, that allows you to set the friction, or as I like to refer to as stiction, of the paddle. After we loosen that set screw, we take the largest Allen wrench, remove that socket head screw, the paddle, and the washer that is underneath. We'll go ahead and put the longest paddle back onto this one. So first of all, we're going to install the socket head screw into the paddle. Then we'll install that lock washer onto there. And then install it onto the bender lever. When we get to this point, we'll set the tightness or the stiction of that paddle, set it just a little bit tighter in this case. And we're going to go back to the smallest Allen wrench and re-tighten that smallest set screw. And what that smallest set screw is doing is holding that socket head screw into place so that we can move that paddle around as we want.